Hi there, welcome to another episode of The Confront here, in which we discuss things that might help you get through life. In today's episode, I want to pay attention to rules. Now, probably you think rules are there to, to hinder you, to make things difficult for you, and generally make things less fun. Now, this might apply to some rules in games and so on, but of course, in society, as a person, you are also subject to rules that you have to follow and that apply to you as well as others. And you'll often find that people complain about rules because they don't understand them, or because they find them weird, or mostly because they don't like them for whatever reason, because it means the rules mean that they can't do what they would prefer to be doing, really. Now, it is rather important to think of why rules are there. Some rules, of course, are arbitrary, which means that they could have been different and they might not be all that beneficial. But generally speaking, rules are there for a reason. So when you think of rules that are to do with, for example, safety regulations or the environment, or about how workers should be treated and so on, those rules are there to make things better, to protect you. And the rules that protect others from you, rather important to realize, are also there to let others be less of a danger to you yourself. They are there to protect you as well from others. Now, who are the people you should be worrying about mostly? Well, the ones that are the people who have power over you, the ones that involve themselves with large decisions that involve health, that mean that people's living conditions improve or get worsened. Um, those are the important rules that are there in a society to help people to improve their conditions and to be in a better situation than they would be without those rules. So when you know that, it becomes rather interesting when people say there are too many rules, or that that society would benefit, usually framed as the economy benefits from the fact that there should be fewer rules. Now that sounds logical at first. After all, rules, laws, and so on are things that make it more difficult for people to do what they do, that make it more difficult for companies, for example, to profit as much as they could. But when you think a bit deeper, those rules are mainly there to protect the weaker, which happens to be most people, no matter how strong you might think you are, from the ones that are stronger. So a company, especially a large one, is one that is an entity that is particularly strong. Imagine a company that doesn't have to follow any laws whatsoever. They could maximize their profits, of course, which means in turn that they can get away with having as few benefits and as low salaries as possible for their employees. It also means that they can afford not to follow laws that are meant to protect people, that are meant to protect customers, that are meant to protect the environment, that are meant to protect general health of the population, of you, from their work. So those rules are there to help you be protected from people that would otherwise have all the room, or at least more room than they do now, to exploit you, to make your life worse, and to maximize profit at the cost of society. Now, obviously, these rules that exist do not prevent people from actually committing these things. Crimes happen, but the fact that there are rules, that there are laws that deal with these things means that you do have some way of being protected from them. It's mainly our usual scapegoats, because they are the actual danger to most people in the world. The usual scapegoats are referred to in these videos. It's the companies, it's the ultra rich, and so on, that are the ones that would like there to be as few rules as possible, because it allows them to exploit the planet, exploit people, exploit animals, exploit nature, exploit everything and everyone to their benefit. When you have politicians that lobby for there to be fewer rules, there's a chance that they might be people who have really had a good look at some rules, some laws, and see that some are perhaps impossible to follow, are unnecessary, are unneeded, or are too unclear or too vague or whatever, or too unnecessarily obstructive for people, and especially companies, because it's mostly for companies that they want to do these things, that those rules are really unnecessary and restrictive and so on. Well, generally, the gist is that there should be fewer rules, fewer laws, fewer restrictions for people that are already very powerful, and for people that are already very much not restricted by too many laws and rules and so on. And generally speaking, these politicians who pretend to think of ways to improve society, which should be their role, are really there to lobby and to act for people who want to exploit society. And when you think, well, society can screw itself, I don't care, as long as I am in a good condition, and as long as I am benefiting from what happens, it's cool and all. Keep in mind that you are not benefiting. Perhaps you are benefiting from it in the short term, because it would perhaps be more fun if you could just buy certain products, or if you could blow away all the fireworks you want, or if you could just buy very, very cheap cars, or whatever you might fancy. But keep in mind that generally, in the longer term, you will not benefit from those things. A cheap car is likely to be a shoddy car. Fireworks are a danger to your health. They are a danger to people's safety. They are a danger to your safety. And that is something that the politicians that want to lobby for companies and try to make people vote for them on a platform of there being fewer rules and that it's bad for the economy. That is the thing that those people tend to forget. The fact that they themselves would also benefit from there being rules, and that they actually do. So when you feel that you are, well, attracted to an idea of that there should be fewer rules and laws for companies in the world, in your country, and that is what you would want to vote for, provided you are allowed to vote, of course. When you think that, have a thought about what exactly you are voting for, and what it would really improve in the longer term about your living conditions if companies and powerful other entities are held to lower standards and can really just get away with whatever they want to do. This was a rather short video, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed listening to what I had to say, and I hope you'll find some benefit from it in your life. And keep in mind that basically, if you want to boil this message down to something simple, lean, mean, and useful, it would amount to this: rules rule. Now, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, you are certainly allowed to like this video or to leave a useful comment. Bye.